necessarily focusing in on where the Snapfire is and what she's doing. But I guess the Pango with Rolling Thunder is sort of a nice way to get in to the backside and just try and cancel off the Mortimer's Kisses when it is expended. PentAce probably not going to be too concerned about it though. They'll go into their 4th pick now. Still yet to pick up a position 1. And I think they might just leave Ryoya's hero till the last pick. The Monkey King can be flexed around. I wonder what they do want in that carry role though for PentAce.
Maybe something would sustain. The Jug would have been nice if they didn't ban it themselves from PentAce's end. They do have an option for, say, Ursa if they want that. I'm not sure about Ursa in this game. Seems like there's enough control from Zoomers to kite that hero around. I don't know. It's a hard one to pick your pause 1 into. I think Zoomers have a really strong lineup that PentAce's supports can't compensate for. And that's where the Pangolier pick shines for me. You don't have a Bane, you don't have a Beastmaster to reward the Pangolier, you don't even have a Bloodseeker to counteract him, as there's no room. So you're always going to be able to get that roll around. There is a puck here for PentAce, so that might just be our Ryoya hero down mid. It is still a really solid core to have. You know, you have good control with Dreamcoil Ravage with Kisses on top of that. That's a lot of damage flying through. And you can play with this. It's a good magic damage to deal with Monkey King's Wukongs as well. So you have some ways of being disruptive in these fights, getting your own initiation in, and does make for a good back and forth here for PentAce.
Well, final ban stage now for both teams. More Zoomers to go up first. They're still looking to ban out more position 1s. It's going to really limit the options for Fear, I think. I mean, you still have many options to go, obviously, but in terms of the better position 1s, they are starting to be removed quite fast. We'll see the PA now also being removed. You could go back into the Gyrocopter if you want, but it just never really seemed to get to the point where it took off. And I suppose the Divine Rapier made it look pretty powerful, but that's a Divine after all. It kind of makes anyone look powerful.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think the PL just really worked out because of the itemization PentAce went for. Like the build-up for Fear was basically a Divine Rush. He had no Ags, so you didn't have the Side Gunner, and without the Side Gunner, you're not getting the full DPS output. Shoots up massively when you've got the Divine, and you also didn't have Satanic to hold you. Like Mask, Morbid Mask was good, but not good enough. Satanic's really where it's at with Jara, so I think the PL just managed to make work of those downsides there, and honestly, he was doing fine without the Divine for quite a fair bit as well. So I think it's pretty all right. I mean, in that game, it really did look all right. Outside of the Divine, I'm arguing it looked pretty all right without it beforehand, but I don't think you want to fit it in here for Zoomers, even though PentAce doesn't have natural stuff, although they do ban out the Gyro, so maybe they're like, maybe we just go PL again.
Okay. To Ace, they have the first pick priority for the last pick. So if they are afraid of a PL coming out, they could take it themselves. I don't think it's that great into the Pango, but...
No. It's tricky. They don't have all of the meta choices here. And the only real option that stands out is like an Ursa. But they go with the Terrorblade instead. So a great frontliner, great push coming out now from PentAce as long as they play with the Metamorphosis. But the Terrorblade, I mean, we were talking about PL being dead. I think Terrorblade's in a pretty much the same spot, if not worse, as we haven't seen it picked as often. So we'll have to see what Fear can get done. He has some sensitive timings to play up against. He has to watch out for the Maledict. That's going to cause issues for him at his low HP pool. Wukong's is going to be kind of troublesome if you don't have Metamorphosis as well. And the Pangolier Disarm has some value here. So Zoomer's only lacking some magical burst to deal with that, but they could always get something here and flex the Monkey instead, and they do go Void Spirit. So it's not quite magical burst, but it does give you some good control here. The lane matchup against the Puck is very solid to have. It's an interesting second draft here, very different from both sides. We'll have to wait and see what Fear does this time in the Terrorblade, but if they do play with the Terrorblade timings, push down towers quick, play around Metamorphosis, Then you can easily build into that lead, shut down the map, and start running around doing your own thing. However, if you lag behind in the Terrorblade, or if you reach the point in game where the cores are evenly farmed, Terrorblade is going to be timing limited to Metamorphosis. So they have to be very cautious about how these spikes work out for them and play while they're strong on PentAce's end.
No, the way I look at it is, I mean, I think this TB is going to have a pretty nice game here. Like, I don't see much in the way of dealing with it quite yet. You could make the argument that there is ways of dealing with it in the laning stage. You know, you've got the Pango there with the disarm through Lucky Shot. But after that, when you think about MK up against TB, as long as the meta's up, he should be just perfectly fine to hit away onto Sammy. Gunner's probably going to have to be the one to control Fear during these team fights. You know, I don't think the Void Spirit was a bad pick at all. I actually like the Void Spirit pick quite a bit. It does feel like PentAce might have a slight advantage with drafts, but let's see what happens. Because, again, you also have the Snapfire there, and it's kind of like, this Snapfire pick, is it still good? It seems good right now with a Ravage and a Dream Coil. I can't disagree with that. It does look very potent. I just really want to see how much Z-Free can get done with this position 4 Snap.
Yeah, and it has to be pretty on point. I think the laning phase is much more important for the Snapfire, so you have to apply that early aggression out. Well, there is a lot of aggression you can get with Snapfire Tide, though. Like, you cookie up forward, anchor smash away, get the Gush off, then you get a lot of damage off, especially if, say, you get Gush, maybe you start with a Blightstone here in the Snapfire, and then you little shredder them down, it really just melts.
What is
There's
that?
a lot there you can play with. Which one?
The Tide
Hat?
cosmetic. Yeah.
It's the really old Shark cosmetic that has as many polygons as the Morphling. You can really see the quality that went into that one.
I mean, I can see it's old, John. I know which one it is, but it's on top of the whole bone mask thing going on. It just looks so ridiculous.
That it does, because it's technically a back slot item, so it stacks on top of his helm, which just looks really ridiculous. It's a fascinating head style choice there for snaking. It looks fancy though. So
he broke the smoke. He saw them. Very lucky there from Ryoya, not getting caught out. He had the orb anyway, so I guess he could have just jaunted away, but it is going to mean that PentAce can try and relocate themselves towards a tier 1 tower. They'll feel a little bit safer over there. Of course, 4 Zoomers should be unwilling to try and dive a tier 1 at the level 1 mark. And instead, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and try to contest these bounty runes. That will mean that Fear should have a nice free time getting the other ones at the top side. He might be a little bit afraid to go into the triangle, but... Well, Gunner. They'll spot out the ward as well in the mid lane, so there should be a nice easy D ward out for our Void Spirit.
yeah, and that should help him control up the lane. Up against the puck, that lane is very sensitive to these early laning spikes. Both sides have some pretty even ways of just clearing out, although Z-Freak.
Yeah, he's getting tag teamed. He'll use the shotgun blast, but it looks like he is set to fall, and that is going to be first blood already. This time to Husky on the Witch Doctor. Nice little start for the position 5.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see here. You have these really aggressive supports. They did manage to get that first kill, so they set themselves up well for the lane. Husky is going to be laning up with Sammy on the Monkey King, of course. They're going to be up against Snaking on Tide and Z-Freak on that Snap. So we'll have to see how much they can get up. I think the spike in this lane for the Tide Hunter Snap is going to be level 3. Before then, the level 1 presence of Sammy and of Husky can be pretty potent, so you have to watch that spacing. You can see Snaking. Level 1 Tide, not that tanky. Have to watch yourself there.
Snaking still pretty confident moving up, but Husky's going to go for a chase. Sammy, quite a bit of damage there from Z-Freak, so he's going to salve up as well. Everything should be fine for now down at this bot lane. Of course, over in the mid lane, you've got Gunner there up against Ryoya. I think this should be pretty even. Of course, we always talk about it when these two are up against each other, but power runes are going to be very important at that 4-minute mark. I think that will just kind of define who wins the mid lane once that 4-minute mark does come around. For now, it does seem like both sides are going to enjoy just hitting some creeps.
Yeah, it's going to be relatively even. You have Resonant Pulse for Gunner, you have the Illusory Orb for Ryoya to play with, although if you get caught by the Remnant, there's a little bit more of a win there for Gunner in terms of applying Harass. Still, going to be hard to lock in the puck. We'll see if the supports can make some space happen. Up top, you see the last set of supports and heroes. You've got Ocean on the Tusk, he's along with Brax on that Pangolier. Moves around on that Enchantress and already has that nice chain lightning creep for harassment, but moves pretty low here.
Yeah, they got moved. Tag team should make it very easy to get the kill, and Brax will take it. However, bot lane, Sammy does kill off Snake King, and Sammy obviously very excited this game number 2, already tipping Snake King on the tide.
Yeah, it's a great start for a Monkey King. The aggression coming out with Monkey Witch Doctor just a bit too much for PentAce to handle at first. And they have to wait for these spikes on the tide. Like level 3 is when you can maybe get some cookie plays in. But for now, it's a slower start for that off lane. Up top, at the least, you're having a better time on Fear. There's really not much the Pangolier can do in this lane besides Swash. So they've just been trying to abuse Moo, but Moo's happy enough because Fear is just getting this free farm on the TB. So it's setting up for that initial farm quite nicely on that safe lane here.
And Gunner's really starting to take over this mid lane. 18-2, about 5 CS ahead of Ryoya. It's just classic Void Spirit things. Never loses, this hero. Gunner will continue enjoying his time. 1 minute to those power runes do spawn up. Expect those support rotations to come out pretty darn soon. I think in terms of those rotations though, like, it does feel like 4 Zoomers will have the advantage with their own supports. I don't see a Snapfire being able to really secure them quite as easily as, say, a Tusk. But we're going to see now. Z-Freak, he's moving over. He's got level 2 up, so he does have the cookie. Actually going to move into the mid lane for a bit and see if they could possibly catch out Gunner, but he's going to be just fine. And top lane, Fear. Ends up dying on the TB. The tag team again coming in from Ocean and Brax with the Swashbuckle, able to secure the kill. Now more supports coming into that mid lane as Husky shows up, trying to contest Z-Freak. Gunner's going to run down as well. 8th the Remnant will be there, but it's actually up at the top lane that it does spawn, and that will mean that Zoomers will be able to get it, and Z-Freak is going to die. In fact, they don't even take the illusion yet. They're still holding it for Gunner. Ryoya thinking about going in, but it would mean his death if he went in for it, and Gunner will be able to pick it up. Nice full bottle for the Void Spirit.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, he was already having a good time on mid. He finds a kill, he finds a bottle refill. Ryoya is going to be set back from this lane. They're finding everything on Zoomer's end. 5-0, and look at Fear up top.
Oh, Fear. He does kill off Brax. Ocean trying to continue fighting, does get the kill. Even with Brax dying on that Pango, you'd have to argue it's well worth it. And even bot lane now, Snake King's getting dived by Sammy. Sammy won't commit to the rest of the kill as Snake King did have Z-Freak around. But the Monkey King really applying a lot of pressure and now even stealing a boundary rune away from this dire end. In fact, Z-Freak, he might just be gone. Cookie up to the high ground, trying to buy himself some time. Sammy's going to get the vision. Primal spring up. He'll take the kill along with Husky. And 4 Zoomers are just seemingly so dominant this game too.
Yeah, they've got so much to play with. Their laning aggression's just working out really nice. PentAce, this Tidehunter offlane with a Snapfire is just not working out. Z-Freak's initial movement's just not netting him enough. And now he's playing behind on the Snap. He doesn't have the levels up to truly apply the harassment out with a Scatter Blast. And Snake King's just going to have to find some space elsewhere. For now, Zoomers 7-1. Going into the 6-minute mark. They've already set up as well with a support TP in mid to secure power runes. And if Ryoya doesn't grab this one, he's just going to be really set back on the puck. He's already not having the best of times, which is rare for a puck. But Void Spirit's just equally balanced.
That it is. Power Rune going to go the way of Z-Freak this time. Dreamcore committed. A nice shards from Ocean. He breaks the coil with his own shards and just blocks the way so they can't chase him down. And now Z-Freak underneath the sentry is going to die to Gunner. They can't help him out either. Gunner taking another kill and now is level 7 over the level 6 Ryoya. And he's not going to die here either. He's just fine as they use the coil already for Ocean. Just nothing going right for PentAce thus far.
Yeah. The side of Zoomers now are going to be very pleased. They've got this early momentum built up on Gunner with finding those kills. The support rotation still not working out. Ocean now just playing tag with Moo, and Moo might lose this fight.
I'm pretty sure Moo's dead here. Brax is gonna. Oh, Brax, he missed the swashbuckle, but he can still go get the kill. Nice disarm to make sure Ocean can't take any more damage. That'll be the 9th kill of the game for 4 Zoomers. They might even find Snaking now. They get to start off with the Melodict. Sammy's there with the follow-up. He has the Boundless. He's just waiting for the right moment to take the kill, but he misses out. Husky gets another.
Oh, yeah. It's hard, right? Like, you pick Tidehunter, but there's a Witch Doctor. So you have to deal with the Maledict. And even Ocean just still playing poke with fear, not respecting the TB, although he might die for this.
Yeah, nice cookie there from Z-Freak. They do get one. Now Dream Call out, making sure that the roll will never be out from the Pango. Fear with the Metamorphosis is going to be able to get Brax. They do finally punish this task for being such a nuisance towards this Terrorblade. Fear can finally get back to doing what he likes to do best, which is farming.
Yeah, he needs the space out. He's still not doing too bad in the TB, considering his start. So he's at 3.3k net worth. Sammy's at 3.6, only a difference of 300. So again, you're not going to be too upset about that. You are still finding that steady build-up. The side of Zoomers now probably just want to wait some level spikes to come in. Maybe try to get some support EXP going. Ocean will want his 6, Husky as well, but they smoke up early. They just want to keep the gank train going.
Well, they're going top, but nobody's around there right now. Instead, Sammy might be the one getting ganked. Smoke's there from PentAce. Snaking doesn't have level 6 yet. He needed one more creep. Oh, he's not going to get it either. He just gets it now. Had they had the Ravage, that would have probably meant a kill. Ryoya was banking on that Ravage too. He didn't have Dream Call up. And Sammy's going to get out scot-free.
Yeah. They are still keeping tabs on him, but they have freed up the space to push up top here for Zoomers. They're going to find that tower first. Of course, they can still apply pressure bot, but this is the one thing with Terrorblade. If you're stuck farming jungle, you're not playing with Metamorphosis for early shoves, and that can be a detriment to your team. So Fierce finding farm, that does lead to slower objectives for PentAce, and now they have to be cautious about a mid movement out from Sammy.
I mean, why the hell not? Sammy's feeling confident. He's about halfway to that Battle Fury already. Just had the freest lane of his life, and he knows he can apply a bit of pressure in this mid-tier 1. The bottom tier 1 does get taken out by PentAce now, so they can come back and defend that mid-tier 1 tower. It looks like 4 Zoomers, they've backed off anyway. They're just going to go into the dire jungle and just start farming up that instead. You definitely want to just get to the point where Gunner has the Orchid before you get even more aggressive, I think. Gunner is pretty close to that.
Yeah, he's had that steady build-up. You're still seeing some good gold influx here for Brax as well, all things considered, despite being much more active on the map, looking in the jungle as well. He already has his Corrosion, has his Urn, so there's some damage coming through from the Pangolier, and he's actually keeping up with Fear's farm. So that's not exactly good news for Fear. He's trying to clear out the Ancient stacks now, which with the illusions he can kind of tank through, and there's no vision from Zoomers to punish that. So all things considered, PentAce still getting some steady resource flow. Zoomers would probably want to punish, but not really in a position and not with the knowledge to do so. So PentAce are still, despite a 7k deficit, still keeping up in that word here. They're just going to have to now play around Ravage. Like when Ravage is up and when Fear wants to show up, perhaps you can make some plays, but while they're split up like this, it's really just farm for TB and no one else. Like, Snaking shows mid, so he's not farming up, and I guess your puck is sort of shoving in bot, but it's not that efficient.
Really goes to show you how great of a game or lane Sammy had. I mean, hold that thought. Dream Coil's there. Wukong's command going to be immediately expended, but they get a nice Ravage with the Mortimer's Kisses, and they will make him pay for it. Brax should be able to roll out. Oh, he's been knocked back. He's going to go to the puck. He's going to survive. But they got the big target. They got the Monkey King. Gunner stunned up as well, but they can't lock him down. That Gunner's going to jump right back in, but doesn't really catch Ryoya with the Astral Step. And what I was trying to say just a second ago, John, is it shows you how good of a laning stage Sammy was having, because he's gone for the Battle Fury over the Maelstrom, even though he's up against the Terrorblade. And generally, you want the Maelstrom for the added magic damage, because the high armor of the TB is going to make it a little bit hard to get any damage out with the Battle Fury. But I suppose having a great laning stage, you may as well go the Battle Fury, because it is the greedier option. He's still going to the Aghanim Scepter afterwards. I just wonder whether this pays off for Sammy, going for this Battle Fury build-up.
I don't think it's too bad. I think when it comes down to it, once you have the Battle Fury, you're going to be out farming the TV, so you should rebuild into an item advantage in that case, and it allows you to take care of everyone else. Like, the Terrorblade is not the Monkey King's issue. That should be Gunner's priority, not Sammy. So I think they've got the right idea by just going with the Monkey King's strength in flash farming, going by his strength with the Wukongs, with the spam of the monkey statues, with the Ags. Still solid enough. Sammy just has to watch out. He can't really be up front just yet. You need to respect the magic damage that you see on the side of PentAce, and I don't think he wants to truly force his body out until the BKB's up. So, gonna be a slower game for Sammy going forward. Just gonna focus on farm, and PentAce can abuse that. Like, they don't have many long cooldowns besides Ravage. They could just play with kisses.
Kinda wanted to take a fight. They just orb right out of there. Ryoya not willing to get involved quite yet. He wants that Witch's Blade up. Just fair enough. Ocean gonna spot out Snaking. He does have Brax nearby, so they can try to go for this, and they will with the tag team now and the Swashbuckle. Snaking already very low, but it looks like he might make it to the tier 2, but they get the shards out. He stick charges up now, and they can't kill him. The initial Swashbuckle from Brax not actually being committed with the tag team. That may have barely cost them the kill.
I think prolonged fights against the Tide are hard now. Max level Anchor Smash, they were doing like 40 damage per hit.
Melodic did actually go. Death Ward not going to do anything from Husky. Z-Freak just preemptively popping the Mortimer's Kisses, but nobody else was around. And so Moo does get himself a nice easy kill, and now Snaking going for more, but the Dream Coil going to be way off. Gunner avoiding that with the Dissimulate. They do get Snaking. So Gunner, very happy with that, of course, getting the core Tidehunter.
Yeah, very worthwhile trade, dropping your support for that. You don't mind at all. You also saw the Metamorphosis pop there by Fear, so he's just going to have to stick back and farm. He has been building up, taking a slight lead over Sammy now, so good news for Fear on that end. They were looking for a Ravage opportunity, but when they whiffed the coil, couldn't really line up. Zoomers now, for their part, they're still playing aggressive, which is nice because it's buying Sammy so much space. They just have to choose their targets right. Snaking is not the go-to now. Maybe Z-Freak here.
Snowball in. He is going to go on the other side of the shard. Z-Freak saving himself for now. Snaking still has Ravage if he needs to commit. And Z-Freak, no, he's going to be fine. Ocean's the one in trouble. He'll try for the TP. They have to Ravage to cancel this, and they won't. In fact, Brax comes right back in for the drive-by. Very nice from Brax. I think either way, if you committed the Ravage, 4 Zoomers probably would have been even happier. Just letting the Tusk die and knowing the Ravage was down. But they still get a great trade for themselves. There was really no losing that situation before Zoomers.
No, just really good aggression forward. And, you know, put Snaking in a really awkward spot. Yeah, Snaking's tanky. He can mitigate damage with Anchor Smash. I believe, again, when I looked at the Pangolier, he had -40. So he was doing like 40 damage in that last gank. It doesn't matter if you don't focus the Tide. Like, focus on someone else. He can melt him fast. And they're buying so much space for Sammy. Like, he has the Battle Fury up. He's going for a fast BKB, which is preferable over the Ag. So he can be active early on if he wants to be.
Silence out on the Tide. They're not going to follow up. Brax still going after that top tier 2 tower. Sees Moo on the Enchantress and wants to try and find out where he's gone. Meanwhile, a Dream Coil committed. They found the Tusk. Oh, nice dodge on the Cookie, though. The Dream Coil is not going to last very long, but they do secure the kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, however, Snaking was being chased down by Gunner. Looks like he's going to be just fine. So they do get a Tusk kill. That's not too big of a deal for the Zoomers. I suppose for PentAce, though, knowing the Tusk is off the map, it's going to make them feel a little bit safer.
Yeah, gives them some angles if they want to force fights. The important thing was the kill went onto Ryoya. So your Puck is getting some farm up from these kills, saving up for the Blink. And once you have this Blink timing on Ryoya, Blink Dream Coil is going to be easier to pull off. You have much better angles for initiation. It should be easier to set up for snaking to get a Ravage off as well. So it's a very important timing for Ryoya to meet. And if he finds these pickoffs flowing, it shouldn't take too long until the Blink is up.
Aghanim Scepter build up on Fear. Interesting. It is quite powerful, that Terror Wave. It's very unorthodox to rush it this quick, but Terror Wave is quite powerful.
Yeah, I think the added Metamorphosis for 10 seconds is value as well. This gives you some turn. They do jump Husky.
Husky's gone. Nice easy pick off there for PentAce. Do you think this favors PentAce more, this slow kind of farming game that we're seeing?
I'd actually say so. I think Monkey King going late is potent. It doesn't have as much downtime as a TB does with Metamorphosis. So we're talking about Metamorphosis potentially versus Wukong cooldown. Now, Wukong is a long cooldown, and you have to stay in that area. But Monkey King isn't as constrained to Wukong's, especially if you have the Ags on the Monkey. So I don't think you mind at all going late. You can itemize to deal with a Terror Blade as well. And the downtime of Metamorphosis is really just painful. I think it's way too long. Where it's on 155-second cooldown, it's just so long, and you can kind of abuse it. Of course, that does mean PentAce is super strong when that's up for Fear. So it goes both ways, but I don't think 4 Zoomers feel too scared about their late game prospects.
T2 Tower still under siege. Now TPs come right in. They want to go for a big fight. Brax trying to go on the puck. He's been dream called up anyway. He can't really leave yet. Now he can. Rolling Thunder to be popped. Jumping off the cliff. He's going to try and make it out. A nice attempt, but Fear does get the kill with the meta. On the brighter side for the Zoomers, they only lose 1. But I think PentAce is still going to be satisfied with that.
Now they find a nice kill. They defend their tier 2. It's down to 465 HP, so it's not in the 9 range yet. And they do finally get this blink up on Ryoya, so they can set up for these bigger fights. Sammy, though, has a BKB. So if you catch the Monkey King with Dream Coil, it's not going to be enough. You might be able to get the follow-up Ravage, and that could cause issues for Sammy in that case.
Jump out of the tree, snaking. Pretty confident. Front lining there for the team. They don't have Mortimer's Kisses, so they've got to be slightly careful. Of course, they don't have meta either, and 4 Zoomers know this. Husky going to pop the Maledict on snaking. Death Ward committed as well. Turn on to Moo, and they'll get the Enchantress. Some very confident movements from PentAce with so many abilities missing.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I think they were just wanting to prod and poke a little bit, but they did have Ravage. Perhaps Snaking was looking for an angle. Doesn't work out. They are still buying space for Fear. He's very close to that Ags now. So the Terrorize is going to be big. Metamorphosis outside of, well, the actual spell is always going to be nice, and that does mean Fear has more power on hand. They will have to drop this Meteor, and it's 20 minutes in. It's been long enough, so not the biggest loss at this point. And I think the Zoomers now, they're lagging behind in farm. There is a lead for PentAce, 1k lead up. Sammy is pretty much where that gap exists. So you want this Monkey King to try and find that farm once more here. Ags for him is a bit longer. So Fear is going to have that spike earlier than the Monkey King is, and that might cause some issues here for the side of the Zoomers.
On a bot lane. Be able to escape. Agnes is now up on Fear.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty nice. That Terror Wave is going to give them a lot of control, although Z-Freak just staying in that jungle a bit too long. There was a ward as well spotting him out, so good punishment out from the Zoomers. PentAce, though, probably not going to care. They've hit some major spikes. We've been waiting on the blink on Ryoya to show up. He does use it, but trying to escape.
That he is. Ryoya. going to be just fine.
They do smoke up. They've got Ravage. They want to reveal that Ags on Fear. They're going to be trying to find an angle. Zoomers didn't quite spot that smoke, so they've got to be a bit cautious. Ocean might break it, though.
Snaking.
Oh, nice break. Broke under a ward.
Oh, Ryoya.
Oh, no.
It's a short cooldown, but they are going to be able to take a fight now on 4 Zoomers, and they go straight in on the Tide. Snake King doesn't really want to Ravage anymore. He probably won't have the chance anyway. They'll cookie forward. Brax still controlling him. Now he Ravages, but it's too late. Just way too late. Snake King already down, and now they want to capitalize. Sammy gonna jump in after the Enchantress. Terror Wave there, though, landing on everybody from Fear with the Mortimer's Kisses, but a great snowball out. Gonna save the day. Mortimer's Kisses don't do enough. Now jump back in with the Wukong's command. They've got Fear on the Terror Blade. He can't, or he actually could have sundered, but there was no target. Sammy was BKB, the Tusk was too low. He just had to accept the fact that he was dead. Ryoya now doesn't get the orb off.
Oh, what? He got cleaved. Jeez.
Very nice from 4 Zoomers.
And it's going to lead to big things. They can go into the Roche Pit. There's no Ravage to play with here from the side of PentAce, and that Terror Wave is nice. Its AoE is kind of ridiculous. It has a pretty long cooldown as well. That's a 90-second cooldown, so even if Fear respawns and TP's in, he's not going to have that spell ready, and this Roche is going to be important for Zoomers. That's going to allow them to, again, force more fights, allow them to twack away. Have to be careful as Brax is pretty low, but does manage to roll out.
Yeah, just roll Ocean. He's going to be all right. Nice little roll away. Also, just checking outside the pit to make sure nobody's around. So Fear looking to get an Eye of Skadi pick up now on the TB. But a 5k net worth lead for 4 Zoomers. Going to be making them feel quite comfortable. Now Sammy, he has the full Ags up. Along with his BKB. He's looking very powerful in this Monkey King.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to fight into this. Despite the durability on Fear, you can see what happens if he's just clumped on. They've got enough control. They're trying to chase Gunner.
Terror Wave going to be avoided by the Yule Scepter. Gunner, he doesn't have another step charge for 5 seconds. Dissimulate, Ryoya, no Dream Call up. He can buy time with the Yules, but the step charge is now there, and Gunner is going to be fine to get away. And while that was happening, top lane Z-Freak gonna die to Ocean. Right now, PentAce just seemingly unable to catch anyone. Or at least Gunner, who continues to waste their time.
It's a big issue for PentAce. They're clumping up all these heroes to try and find these kills, and it doesn't quite line up. Sammy now trying to hunt them down.
Getting some great vision. Nice phase shift from the puck, orb away as well with the blink out. Snowball. They found Moo. They'll take the Pos 5 Enchantress instead. Better than nothing. And 4 Zoomers, they want to go high ground, it seems, with this Aegis. You can take it a lot faster with the Aghanim Scepter on Sammy, as the statues can hit the tower if you're close enough. They're going to slowly start chipping away with their MK. That's going to be enough to back out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a risk. They know Ravage should be back up, and the Terrorize is going to be back up from Fury as well. So they play it safe. Just go back, farm up. There's still a lot of room to grow here on every single hero. Gunner is very close to his Ags, and once you have that silence, there's nothing defensive on... I mean, he does have the Manta, but he tends to pop it early. So you have some angles here to take control once more on that Terrorblade if he's not careful.
Sammy just casually boundless striking Z-Freak in the tree line. He spots him out now. He wants to go for the kill right onto the Snapfire, but Snaky is around to help just in case. Meanwhile, top lane, Gunner is forcing in the top tier 3 with the siege creep. Moo is there to defend, but so much pressure being applied, and Gunner, he's going to jump in, but he misses the Aether Remnant, but Brax has the Rolling Thunder to follow up. The Glimmer Cape being a little bit of a nuisance but not quite enough as Gunnar gets another kill. And while that's happening in the mid lane, Sammy was pushing up the tier 3 tower there, and they eventually end up forcing out a glyph and just backing again. Some really solid play by 4 Zoomers.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner this time around. They're executing cleanly, their matchups are good. And snaking.
Sammy, they know where he is in the tree line, but they can't chop it down. Wukong's is up, Age is still there. They don't want to initiate when the Aegis is up on the Monkey King.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair call. It's very hard to deal with his 2 lives, and I'm sure Sammy's going to be trying to hold out by using the Wukongs on the second life instead, so conservative plays from PentAce. They do have really good high ground, so they don't necessarily need to take these fights outside. If they can find a clump up, it does work out well for them. They might catch... Oh, Gunnar. The silence just breaks Snaking's insta-ravage.
Gunnar has been such a nuisance. Snaking, he'd love to ravage for this Void Spirit, but he can't. He doesn't know where he's gone. And while this is happening, top tier 3 is still being pushed in. So Gunnar's just a massive distraction for 4 Zoomers. Silence out on the Tide. He needs a big ravage with that Blink Dagger out, but he's going to get caught by this Aether Remnant, and they want to burst him down. They'll lose the Aegis, but they might get Snaking in time. Glimmercape will save. Brax still chasing with the Rolling Thunder. He'll eventually give up on it. Now the Boundless Snaking still can't get it off. There's no buyback on the Tide. The tips come out as well. Wukong's command is there to make sure that they can get this top racks. At least they do Mortimer's Kisses. They are onto Sammy. He's taking a lot of damage and he's gonna go down. He kind of just disappeared there for a sec. I was wondering if he mischief dodged, but he was surrounded and he does die. But they got the racks, which appears to be what they really wanted. In fact, they're jumping right back in now. Gunnar, he's going to go after Fear. He got the Aether Remnant off with the Orchid out. The silences on the TB, he cannot sunder. He can't even hit them. The disarms there from Brax as well. Just everything. Everything being thrown onto the TB. And Fear's down for 50.
Yeah, that's big. They still have Ravage to play with on PentAce, and the Monkey King is going to be down for a little bit longer. So you're not quite dead in the water yet for PentAce. You still have some room to play, but they need to find these angles. We've seen Snaking now twice over, blink and then silence, blinked and then stunned, just preemptively casted from the side of 4 Zoomers. So it's been a difficult game for him to find these follow-up Ravages with a fast blink, and with a blink you really need to land those in. So let's see if Snaking can start to find some angles here.
Oh, nice Rolling Thunder again from Brax. They're going to find 2 here, it looks like. Snap trying to get out. They'll take Z-Freak over Moo's life. The Enchantress not really worth that much in this stage of the game.
Amazing.
It's buying them space out. Like, Sammy's managed to respawn. He drew lines down bot. He wants to take out these last outer towers to truly open up the high ground. And Sammy is very close to an Abyssal. Once he has that, and oh no.
That's a big one. That is a big one. Ryoya dies onto the Tide. Aether Remnant catches him out. Kraken Shell will help, but with the double damage on Gunnar, it's going to be almost impossible to get away, and he might even go after Moo now. The Glimmer Cape gonna help a bit, but not quite enough. Moo will go down, and it's onto the tier 3 mid tower. Sammy, he wanted the outer towers, but of course you're gonna take a Rax over the tier 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, and I mean, they're gonna have the Tide back up in 20 with Ravage. That's going to be big, but I've been saying this for at least 5 minutes now. It just hasn't lined up, so they really need to find the angle. And Gunnar.
Yep, back in onto Z-Freak. The Snapfire just having such a tough game, and the Orchid will do the rest. Cool guys, do not stare at explosions, John. That'll be the mid-racks going down as well. And now you can go back for those outer towers.
Yeah, it should be easy enough. They've got travels up. Gunnar gets started on the bot lane, shoving in. Sammy might as well just farm while he's here. Almost at that Abyssal recipe flying out. I think he's just lacking about 200 gold now, so clear that out, get his tier 3 items as well. Orb of Destruction, that is always nice, but the Paladin Sword is a lot nicer with the lifesteal, so they are ready. There is a smoke play here from PentAce, though, outside of base.
It feels like they have to try and catch them off by surprise. They're going to try, but this isn't really surprising. For Zoomers, they are well aware of what's going on, and they're just holding the high ground. Now to jump back in, this could be a real problem for PentAce. Sammy doesn't commit the Wukongs, he backs off, but now Gunner, he'll jump right in. There's your Wukong's command, but it is very defensive. Still Brax now rolling in. V has already popped the meta. They could try and just wait this one out. And it looks like that'll be the game plan. Just wait the meta to run out, and then maybe go back in for a team fight. The Zoomers are still waiting around.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
And the mid racks are going to go as well. The range rack just gets taken out by the creep wave, so they've managed to find something as well from that fight. And PentAce, they need to start with staking. Like, yeah, they get poked out, but the Ravage needs to just come through. Whether or not you find a core, I think at this point doesn't matter. You take the pick off, and then you find the rest of the course after with the numbers advantage. That's how it has to go for PentAce if they fight outside base.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Precious bounty.
Swift Blink slowly but surely getting built up here on Fear. It's going to be a long time. Roshan not up yet. 5 seconds away though for 4 Zoomers. They've also found out Z-Freak, who was just taking an outpost. And 4 Zoomers, they are just all over the map, punishing anyone that shows up in the wrong place. And they are going to go back for a Roshan now, and it's just perfect timing. Without the Snapfire around, they can't even contest this Roshan. Even if PentAce knew about it.
You gotta love it. Second Roche of the game now going the way of Zoomers. Aegis Cheese available. Sammy has a lot of space to just live through here. They're forced to buy back on Z-Freak, but it's too late. They're smoked up, they're running up.
That's a panic buyback right there. They're going to probably force the fight because they bought back, but it's not going to be the greatest of ideas.
No. They're going to have to be conservative now. 22k lead for the Zoomers. 29-9. Definitely a cleaner game for them here in game number 2. PentAce, they still have angles, but they have to find them.
Oh, Sammy, that'd be a big pick-off. They don't feel confident, though. They don't have their whole team around yet, and they found the tide. Terror Wave is there. No BKB from Sammy. He hasn't popped it yet. They've got the control. He can still throw it out, but he's going to wait out the Aegis first. Still, Fear is copying way too much damage. Rolling Thunder in time. Brax gets the TB. No buyback on Fear. They even found the rest of the team. An absolute disaster for the side of PentAce. And that's it. They call it. They have had enough. And what a performance out from 4 Zoomers today, John. Just looking very dominant.
Oh, they look really good. And, you know, this matchup against PentAce, yeah, PentAce had a better run in the group so far. But when it came down to that, they wrecked match they had in the NADPC. Zoomers took that one very quick as well when PentAce was still Sad Boy. So, unfortunate for PentAce, they don't manage to make it work. Fear's TB, he did get good farm. He went for the Ags Rush build, didn't quite pay off, and unfortunately in this case, snaking with a blink. I don't think we ever saw any big Ravage with the blink until that last fight, so it didn't quite line up, and Zoomers, they just got the pacing they wanted there.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tough game. That'll lead us on to our last series of the day, John. Of course, it is going to be up.
Treat yourself
Whoa,
at the
what
cafe,
the hell is
and
that?
we could treat
Sorry about that. There was an ad playing in the background from one of my browser sources, apparently. I think it was from the Twitch. Yeah?
There's some news about that last series. So
Go on.
I'll give it very briefly because I don't think I can say too much. But we do have an issue with one of the teams right now. So there might be a slight delay as they try to take a stand-in for this last series.
Okay. I suppose we'll confirm some information then and see what's going on, and we'll come back to the viewers and let them know about it. With that, though, we are going to move on to our final series. Like John said, there might be a bit of a delay. I'm not aware of the problem yet, but I'll find out soon. And well, hopefully we can update you guys with a more exact time once we are back. We'll see you all again very soon.